Okay, I hope this works. Got that thing all set up for the demo.
Yeah, can you hear me by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm using my phone and I never used it for this before, so like I said, it might just be us.
What's the third? I see the Windows 10 and your phone, but what's the third login?
That's my Mac.
Boy, I thought this was going to be like last week where three people were already in the video.
I was hoping.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to wait till, the last 1 or 2 minutes to get the recording stuff organized. But I wonder why John doesn't, because I've sent requests to record with John, and I guess he never sees it or pays attention to it.
Oh, he records all of them.
Yeah, I know, but I told him, I says I can put them. I have a backup, a copy of them because he doesn't keep a copy on his computer.
Oh, yeah, I think they're somewhere because you get them from his website, I think.
Yeah, I download them from his website. I've got I just put them on an extra SSD drive, little
Oh, gotcha.
200 gigabyte drive. So I've been just filling that up with his videos for backup. Philip G.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Now we can see Philip instead of the ceiling.
Yeah, it's on my phone, so I'm not sure how well it's working.
Yeah, I'm trying my phone for the first time.
I'm surprised. Well, Terry might not be in here. I would hope he gets in, but Joe, I think, sent an email saying he might not be able to get in.
Yeah.
But Joe was the one with ESP32 questions. Him and
Well,
Terry.
well, hopefully we can answer them by video.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like on the first video, I went back yesterday and edited the comment section under, that I fill in. And
Uh-huh.
I put the titles of all the subjects that we discussed. And I figure I'll do that for these videos, all the videos is, okay, first discussion is the ESP32, second is something else, that sort of thing. Make it easier for people to just look in there to see if they want to watch the whole video or look for a different video.
Good idea.
Yeah, well, it makes it quicker and easier to look for the answers they're looking for. And then also by the number of views, if like one video gets 1,000 views, that means people are more interested in that subject than, or
Sure.
they're either more interested because they're having problems with it or it's just interesting, but the thing is, I would guess it would be because they were looking to solve their own problems. That gives us a little more insight to things that we might want to cover. Wow.
Hey, there's Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sorry, I was on earlier. It was like 4-ish and I didn't see anybody. So
Yeah, I'm trying to start it like within 1 or 2 minutes of the time. The S100 group gets started like 45 minutes early. Looks like we got, I forget the name of the other guy that was emailed me about joining. It's, oh, Dave Srolov. Srolov. I think he actually lives here in Las Vegas or Henderson.
Well, that'd be nice to have someone near you.
Well, he's not really active. He's when I first ran into him online, he was just trying to sell an Altair 8800B computer he had. Oh, I see. He just asked about where the recordings are being set. I thought he would join. I sent them the link. So I guess everybody's here.
Yeah, we can go ahead and start.
Patrick, are you in 2 spots? Is that what I'm saying?
Kind of, yeah, kind of 3.
Oh yeah, I see.
a Windows machine, a Mac, and my phone.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was trying to figure out how to like show both of these at the same time. It's like, wow, that'd be hard on one computer.
Oh yeah, yeah. I gotcha. I have.
So yes, I think what people wanted to see was the serial CPM and how the FDC Plus works with the serial server and the ESP32 and different serial boards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if I can turn this
Yeah.
around. So I put some stuff together. I thought I'd kind of start by just talking about the serial boards we'll be using. So this is the original MIT. Well, this is a replica of the MIT's 2SIO, and it gets you 2 serial ports. It'll do RS-232. It'll do TTL. It'll do current loop. The problem with this board is to reconfigure it to set your addresses. It's all these darn wires. So if you want to change it or do something, you have to move all these wires around. So anyways, I made this replica board just because I thought somebody might want to go through the process of building one of these. And then after learning a bit about how it works, I turned it into this board, which is basically a functional equivalent to the original, but it doesn't do TTL, it doesn't do current loop, but everything is done with just switches. So your addresses, your interrupts, your baud rates, all done with little switches. I also put DTE and DCE ports on it, so you can just plug in standard ribbon cable DE9s on those, and it'll either act as a DTE or a DCE for both ports. And I put a couple little LEDs on it, so you can at least see if you have transmit and receive data coming in. But yeah, fully software, hardware compatible with the original. And then the other one is, shoot, it's kind of in the, it's Martin made a 2SIO JP board, which is also software, hardware compatible with the original MITS 2SIO. But it also adds an EEPROM, jumpstart, reset. Gosh, what else is on this thing? It'll generate MWrite. It does all kinds of things in addition to to being just a 2SIO. So right now, today, I'm using it for the serial ports, the ROM, MWrite, and jumpstart for the first demo. So those, I think, are basically the 3 kind of 2SIO compatible boards that are out there.
The 3 main ones.
Yeah, the 3 main ones.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Quick question on those 10-pin serial connectors you got. My understanding is there's a newer 10-pin layout that you see on modern motherboards, and then there's like an older 10-pin layout, I think maybe from the original PC maybe.
I don't know what's like new and old, but what these ones are is they're just straight through. I think what's kind of interesting, it's a straight cable, but it's actually considered the crossed, or I think it's the Intel or something like that.
Okay.
But there are two different pinouts for these IDE to 9-pin connectors, and you just have to. Mine was set up where you can just crimp on ribbon and it works. And you can buy these. You just have to make sure you get the right one, and it's kind of interesting because I think this is considered crossed, and the other ones are straight through. If they're straight through, like pin 1 on the IDE, IDC goes to pin 1, pin 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 5. These go like pin 1 goes to pin 1, or goes to 1, and like 2 goes to, what would that be, like 5, and then 3 goes to 2, and then 4 goes to 6. It's kind of all over the place.
Let's see.
But yeah, and then you could put, male, female DE9s on there, but these just plug right in. Kind of like a Martin's board too, that the 2SIO JP, you just crimp. He used a 26 pin, and then you just crimp on the other end, and it just works straight through.
Or you do it the lazy way like I did and buy a bunch off of AliExpress for a couple bucks that are already pre-made.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you get the right one, that it's not for it. And I wish I could remember the names of them. There's like 2 standards, if you can call it a standard.
I think there was the original, and then there was the IBM. I think IBM created the second one.
Yeah, if I do, I'm going to do another board, and I'll probably do the 26 pin, like or actually probably the 14 pin, like the FDC Plus has. So you can actually do a 25 pin connector on it if you want. So I do want to make another board. I want to take I want to call it like the Altair SBC single board computer. So it'll have a 8080 on it, a 2SIO port, compatible. It'll have RAM, ROM, and I also want to have it where it works with the FDC serial server serial only. It won't do the hard drive or the actual real disks, but it'll have a serial port that'll just talk. It'll look like an Altair disk, but it'll work just over the serial port, kind of like the FDC Plus serial port. It'll probably have jump start and things like that. But you should be able to plug it in and run Altair software on it without anything else. Is my goal. I got the CPU working. That's it so far.
Why not do that with a Z80?
Mike Douglas and I talked about that, and there are like there is some, well, like the original BASIC won't run on a Z80 without a modification. There's things that have timing loops. There's all kinds of software that may not run right on a Z80. And since I'm kind of trying to make an Altair single board computer, I just want to make it as compatible as I can with all the original Altair software. And then, of course, you'll be able to disable things, and add your own CPU, disable the CPU, use the serial port or whatever. But it's kind of like it'll kind of like the same idea of the JAIR single board computer, but compatible with the original Altair software.
And using chips we can afford to buy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be, it's probably going to have my 2SIO on it. It's going to have, I've kind of been using the CPU card I have in here, the SSM, CB1A. I like how they did some of the stuff, totally front panel compatible. And In fact, someone made a replica of that board, and it works really well. I have an original, but this is like an exact replica of that board, and I think it's a great 8080 for a if you want to for if you have a front panel. Anyone have any questions?
No, this is good.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, definitely keep going.
Okay, so on this, I'm sharing my screen on my Windows machine. I thought we'd start with Windows. And you should be able to see I have TerraTerm up, and I have, this is Mike Douglas's FDC Plus serial server for Windows.
Why is it at 76.8K?
Because that's how serial CPM works over the 2SIO port. I'm not using the FDC Plus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So so I thought I'd start with people that don't have an FDC Plus. They might have a 2SIO, CPU, RAM type of stuff. So in this I actually I've had this little motherboard in case for years. I've never used it, but I thought, well, wow. I started using it with the SBC 100 stuff, and that's when I realized how I really miss having a front panel. It's really hard to know what's going on. So the only thing in this computer, right now, is the 2SIO JP, the Flex 56, whatever it's called, 56 Flex, and I'm only using it for RAM.
Oh, the
And
Flex 64.
Yeah, the Flex 64. So I'm only using it for RAM. And then I have that solid state music 8080 board in here. So what we're going to do is, so the way the serial CPM works is Mike Douglas made a he made a special CPM that will, over the second serial port on the 2SIO, will talk to his serial drive server. The serial drive server protocol, it basically says, I want to read this track. So it sends the track over the serial port to the host. And then, or it says, I want to write this track, and it sends the track data over the serial port to the server, and then it writes it to your disk images. And these are the same disk images you would use, I believe, on the Altair-Duino and Altair Z80 simulator. And so what I'll do is I will load. I just got so you have to get the serial versions of his CPM. There's a standard one that looks like a single density, 8-inch floppy, and then he has an 8 megabyte version. So I'll just load the 56K. So now this is going to act as drive 0, drive A. And then I have AMON loaded. Now to actually load CPM, Mike made a special serial drive bootloader. I don't have it in any ROM or anything like that. He made two versions. He made one that you can load at 100 and one that you can load in a ROM. So I'm just going to load his loader. Sorry, I don't use TerraTerm much. So that just loaded his bootloader into a 100. Now if I execute at 100, so you can see on the serial server, it requested track 0, track 1, and booted CPM, and then it read track 2 to get the directory. So I mean, I don't have a hard disk controller in here at all, and now here I have CPM running, and it's quick. I do want to point out that if you've downloaded Mike's serial drive server for Windows and you want to try doing this, you need his 1.5 or 1.51 version. The older ones didn't support the lower baud rates. because it was just designed to work with the FDC Plus. And he also added this really nice serial receive light that comes on. It's good for debugging. If it's for some reason something's not working, that green light will come on when it receives, when the serial server receives an actual good packet from the host.
Do you
But
know
not-
if he?
The 1.5, is that the version of the of a circuit board or software?
Software.
Okay.
Do you know if if the Linux version was updated to do the slower speeds? I was actually playing around with the Linux version before, trying it, and I kept noticing that it was going up to 200K or 400K. It was going up to some really fast baud rate,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Go ahead.
I pushed a change on GitHub. It was probably like a year ago. That lets you select those slower baud rates also. So it should, if you have the latest version and compile that, it should let you pick all those other baud rates. The nice thing about using either a 2SIO JP or like the other 2SIO board, not the original MITS board, is these both run up to 76.8K.
Yeah.
So you get a lot. It works a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I had the original one I was trying to use was the 88 2SO 2ISO board and with 76, but the problem is my Linux server serving up the files I didn't realize that I wasn't switching it down slow enough. I gotta look into that then.
Okay, yeah, I think it's the B command. I think you just do -B 76800 and it should do it.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. It's possible I somehow grabbed the older version that was floating around, depending on where I grabbed it from. So but I'll take a look. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, sure. So this is just your standard, 350K CPM disk. We can unload this. Mount as 8 megabyte version. Reset this guy. Hex load the loader again. Now we have the 8 megabyte version running.
Cool.
I don't know if people have you guys used the 8 megabyte version of Mike's CPM before?
I've got it on IMSAI-JAIR computer.
Yeah, so the IMSAI-JAIR I did it a little bit different. On Mike's 8 megabyte, it will work with 8 megabyte disk images for drive 0 and 1, and the single
and 2.
No, that's only the jar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is Mike. This is all Altair Mike stuff.
Okay.
So you can put your single disk, your single-sided 8-inch floppies on drive C and D, and it'll work with those too. But the zero disk server is I love this whole thing. Like I said, I have no disk drives, no floppy disk control at all, and all my files are just stored on the Windows machine here. I just turn it on, mount what I want, and boot. It's a really neat thing, the way this works.
Oh yeah, no, I love the idea of a small setup, in my setup in my office where I can play around with this stuff without having to have disk drives and other things floating around, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great because all you really need is CPU, a couple serial ports, and some RAM and a ROM.
And actually, your new card would fall into that, where it would, you could possibly even use one of those old Altair 4-port boards for slot boards. You don't need much more than that at that point.
Yeah, and it wasn't that difficult to to port it to to run on the JAIR to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason why it couldn't work on any, couldn't be ported really any sort of IO card, serial cards. It's not, the protocol is really simple, and Mike just did a good job on setting it up. So it's pretty easy to port. If there were some other systems that we wanted to use with the serial disk server, that may not be 2SIO related.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because because like I said, it just asks for a track number and a length, so it'll work with pretty much any format, I would think.
I have a question on you showed two versions of it, the CPM serial.disk, and you got the CPM 22 8 megabyte one. On the first one, it loaded a 360K on drive 0, but what is the volume of the drive 1, 2, and 3? Are they all 360K?
All four, 0, 1, 2, and 3, they're all 360K.
Okay, so it's only the 8 megabyte one that gives you, and you said 8 megabytes on all 4 drives?
No, the first 2 are 8 megabytes and the last 2 are 360.
Okay, yeah. See, I think it should be the opposite. The first 2 should be 360 and the last 2 8 megs.
I'd like, the source code's there for the BIOS. you can make it any combination you want.
Well, my thinking is your boot drive. Why fill up your boot drive with 1,000 files?
Well, this one works pretty good because Mike's version of CPM here. If you're on drive C and you run a program and it can't find it, it'll go look on drive A. But it won't. So if you have a whole lot of stuff stored on like drive C and not much on drive A, it doesn't work the other way. If it doesn't find it on A, it won't look on B, C, and D to try to find it. So I don't know. I typically I'll make like a disk image for a project. I put everything I need on drive A, and I just use it for that particular project. I rarely ever use the other disks, even really for anything, because 8 megabytes, it's plenty enough for almost anything I do. Way more than enough. But you could modify the BIOS to do it the other way around if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I was just I was just thinking like the boot drive is a boot drive rather than a working drive. Yeah,
I've had problems like using submit on other drives. It seems like if I get off of drive A, I just think things don't seem to work as good than if I just pile everything on drive A.
Oh, okay.
At least that's my experience.
I haven't had that problem yet.
I love submit.
Yeah.
My drive B is just about full.
Yeah, I've used submit for compiling stuff, but I did it on just the simulator, the Altair simulator, and it seems to work fine on even on other drives for me. But that was, this is playing around with it.
Yeah, and that I love the sim too. I like writing devices for the simulator. I do a lot of work on the simulator. I've even done with the serial drive on Linux with the serial drive server. I'll have Altair Z80 using the same drive mounted that my serial drive server is using, and I'll go compile really quick on the simulator and then just go back to the Altair and run it, and then compile on the simulator really quick and then run it. They're just sharing the same. They're sharing the same disk image, and it works pretty good. I don't have the patience to to assemble on an Altair.
Yeah.
So these serial disk servers are really neat.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
Yeah. So does anyone have any more questions or want to see anything else?
I know you actually made that a serial server device. So you're gonna go over that a little bit. So,
ESP.
instead of running the software on a system, I believe you created a standalone device that had an interest in.
Yeah, yes, I got that
Yeah.
in the other room.
Okay,
So-
that's fine. Go
So if
ahead.
we're done with this, I guess the disk controller list,
Yeah.
we can go. Here. So, so what I did in here, this is just a Altair 8800C. In this particular computer, just a MITS 8080 replica, the front panel board, the FDC Plus, and one of the 2SIO, we call the 2SIO R1 boards. And I thought I would start. Can you guys see the other shared screen now? The
Hold on
Mac.
a second. The
Uh,
one, it's
I'm looking at
ESP32
the Windows
FDC.
screen yet.
Yeah.
There's a tab. I know on mine, there's a tab up top where I click. It says Patrick, and then it says
No,
ESP32.
He's talking about the share, the big. Right now we see the Windows screen.
Yeah. Switch to the other one that says like Patrick's computer or something, or Patrick Lindstruth. It should have a
That's
window
just-
with
that's
FDC
just
Plus
your
on
name.
it.
That's
Huh?
just your name.
Yeah, it's just my name.
Yeah.
It says your name and screen at the end is what you used.
Okay.
I don't know if screen gets put in there. But yeah, I see that. I'm on that one. Now, one with SD card and
Unshare the Windows one, and then that one might pop up.
Well, just hit the screen share button at the top.
yeah.
Let's see, toward the top left, and select the other one.
No, he's right. We'll just
Well, I think he has to unshare Windows first.
No,
we'll
no,
just make it easy.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
okay. Go ahead. So unshared Windows. I see
Yeah.
that
Now
that's
we
gone.
see your ESP display.
Okay, so the difference between this, what we saw before, that was just a special version of CPM that talks to Mike's serial drive server without a FDC Plus controller. So now we have an FDC Plus controller, and I don't know, has everyone seen the FDC Plus before?
I have not.
So the FDC Plus is right in there, and this connector here, that's your 50-pin connector. So that'll talk to your 8-inch drives. It'll emulate mini disk drives. It'll do all. It'll talk to real floppy drives, and it works with a bunch of different drives. I think he has it work. This is now working as like an ICOM controller and I don't know what else. But it also has this connector here, and that's just a serial port. So it's a serial port dedicated for, that's how you configure the FDC Plus. And then he also added the serial drive server, which is set through these switches here. And with the 3 switches to the right in the up position, it tells the FDC Plus that I want to be a serial drive server controller. It still looks like an Altair disk to the CPU, but rather than communicating with a real disk drive, it'll send requests and write tracks over the serial port instead. And I thought I'd start with because people asked about that. So this is a Raspberry Pi. And it has a serial cable coming out of it. This connects to the FDC Plus serial port. And it's kind of funny. I have this is the old one, but I wanted to show the Linux version of the FDC Plus. So if you don't have Windows, I just have a little program here, a little script that will tell the serial drive server which serial port to use, what baud rate to run, and then it says disk 0, mount this disk image, drive 1, mount that one, drive 2. This is from a project I was working on a while ago. But if we run FDC, it's just a little console program I'll turn on the Altair.
Yep, that's
Now-
what I've been saying, by the way. That's a software I've been running, trying to get to run.
Yeah, I think there's a 1.1.
Okay, so maybe that's it. I
Which,
gotta look for. Go ahead.
which when we get off, I will double check that. I will get it compiled, and I know I tested it once somewhere. So you'll see. So we have 3 drives, 3 disks loaded, 2 8 megabyte disks, and 1 360K disk. I will.
And it's running at 460K,
Yeah.
460.8K. Gotcha. Okay.
Now on the middle window, I boot into Altmon.
Yeah.
And then with Altmon, you can just do the boot command, and then you'll see it gives you a little status like it. So the stat every I think it's like 10 times a second. The FDC Plus sends what's called a stat command, and it tells it like which heads are loaded, unloaded, and then at the same time it's asking the serial drive server, which disks you have mounted. So it's constantly sending these little stat commands back and forth, and then you can see that there. If you're working with this program and you don't see stat and you're getting errors and all these things, you should be able to see the stat command, and you can even press V for verbose, and it'll show you the actual data of the stat command. And if we do like an LS, you can see it. You can see the first 128 bytes of the packet that it's sending. But this is like the Linux version. It's the same software you would use for pretty much anything, for any of the serial drive servers. And this is just standard Altair software. This isn't specific for the serial drive server because it's talking to the FDC Plus.
Okay.
And the FDC Plus looks like it's a Altair disk drive, and then it's just converting the requests to read and write into these packets to send to the serial drive server, and then it just sends them back.
Patrick,
Okay.
a quick question, and this is going back to the Windows, but it's probably I think how do the other drives show up? Do they show up as drive B? When you mount something, when you mount the second drive or a second image, how does it show up? Does it show up as drive B and the third
yes
mount drive C?
Yes, like in this case, we have disk 0, 1, and 2.
Right.
Disk 1 is now drive B.
Okay, got it. That's what I thought, and I tried it last night and it worked, but I just wanted to make sure because I had a couple of errors as well.
And then the disk 2 should be drive C.
Right.
It's just important to remember, like if you're using the 8 megabyte, that it can only have 8 megabyte images on the first 2, and the 360K images on drives C and D.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have sent you, I don't remember, but I might have sent you, for drive 2, the name for an 8 meg instead of a 360. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's probably why it didn't work. Okay,
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and this is using over on the Windows machine, we had to load a special bootloader to actually request the tracks over the serial port instead of over the 2SIO serial port instead of talking to the Altair drive controller. This one is using just a standard Altair bootloader that everybody has. There's really nothing. The Altair thinks it's talking to an actual Altair disk. It just doesn't know the difference, which is really cool. So you can run. Well, I think I have an example of it. So that shows like the Linux version of the serial drive server. It talks the same protocol as the Windows one we saw, So you can use it. You can use Windows. I was working on a Mac version. I just got sidetracked. Haven't got that done. So it's really neat. So then the other, so then this is the little device that we were talking about. Oh my gosh. Hang on, my phone just tweaked. Okay.
There you are.
So this is also a serial drive server, just like Windows or just like the Linux one, but it runs on a standalone ESP32 board. It has that's your DE9 connector, and it also has a 14-pin IDC connector. This will just plug right into the IDC connector on the FDC Plus. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in the future. I've actually been having problems if my ESP32 gets too close to my Altair. I notice the wireless starts to get kind of weird. So I don't know if we got some RFI problem. I haven't really looked into it. I just know when I start having problems, it's like, oh, I need to move it away from my Altair. I don't know if anyone else has seen that themselves. There's 4 drive LEDs. So as you're accessing different virtual disks, those lights will turn on depending on which drive it's accessing. So again, all we really need to do is unplug from the Linux machine, plug into the ESP32, and then you'll notice there's a blue LED on the ESP32, and that will start blinking now it's receiving those stat packets that were showing up on the Linux display. Every time we receive a good, I should mention that all these packets have a checksum. So once we receive a good packet with a good checksum, we basically blink that light. So if you're trying to get your ESP32 working and like you're trying to boot CPM and it's not working or anything, just make sure you're at least getting a blinking light, because that'll tell you that you're at least, the ESP32 thinks it's getting good stuff from the FDC Plus. If you're not getting a blinking light, then probably your cable's got a problem or the baud rates don't match.
Okay.
So definitely the first thing to do with that is just make sure you got a nice blinking light. The FDC Plus, I have it connected to my serial port on a Mac. It has a command line interface. It has just several commands that you can use, similar to the Windows version and Linux. You can mount up to 4 drives. Drive 0, drive 1, drive 2. I currently have disk basic loaded with a games disk, because again, this will boot really any software that was designed to work with the Altair disk controller. So this is their disk basic version 5. As far as debugging goes, one of the nice tools also, if something's not working, there's a stat command. And this will tell you we've received, it'll show you what baud rate it's at, so you can make sure that matches what your FDC Plus is configured for. It shows we've received, 20,000 stat commands, 329 read packets, write packets, 0 errors, and we've had 1 timeout. It shows you the values of the last stat command, the last read and write commands, which track was read or written, what was the length. And then the last error was a block timeout, which is probably when I was turning the thing on and plugging in the cable and all that stuff. So the stat command is really helpful for diagnosing problems, and just problems in general. I don't think you can get this kind of information from the Windows version of the serial drive server. So if you're having problems, it just kind of really helps. And if everything looks good, it should be working. So again, I will go back into Altmon. Now to boot basic, to use the 2SIO, I need to lower the sense switches. But now if we boot, hopefully, oh, I should have been showing you guys the little box. I'll try to hold that up. Memory size, we'll do Q, 2. And there we got Altair Basic.
Nice.
We can do Mount Zero. You see the little drive LED comes on the. I don't know if you can see both of these at the same time.
You just toggle back and forth. It's fine. Yeah, I see drive 0. It's no big deal.
So what I like about the ESP32 is I don't need a PC. I just have. Oh, I should say, there's a SD card. Oh my gosh.
Micro SD.
How do I get back?
Your phone went black.
I know. I keep pushing the wrong buttons. Yeah, so there's a micro SD card under there that you can on the FDC Plus prompt. So you can just store your files on there. So I have a whole bunch of disk images, for all kinds of basics and CPMs and 8 megabytes and regulars. And so now we'll mount one. And that gets the second drive going. If I remember how to do this. You got to do Star Trek. Oh, I think it was all caps.
No, there's no E in it.
I think there
It's
is.
load.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it wants all caps. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was thinking of the
What
.bas
is
one doesn't have
comma
the E. Yeah.
There we go.
What does comma 1 mean?
Drive 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have 2 drives loaded or mounted. So now if I just type, it's one of the things that ESP32 has in the command line. I did add batch files. So if I made a batch file called basic5. So if you just type basic5, it'll mount the 2 disks I was using, remind me to put the sense switches must be off for 2FIO and all that stuff. But now what I'll do is, so I have another one. I just have 8 megabyte, and it just mounts 2 8 megabyte disk images. We do boot, and now instead of in basic, we're in CPM.
Does the comma 1, does that work under the CPM system too?
No, CPM uses A, B, and C colon.
Right, yeah, because that's what I was going to say. I always go load, double quote, the drive letter, colon, and then the file name.
Yep. You want to boot Burcon CPM version, just mount that one. And boot. Now we're in that CPM. I mean, it's so easy to just kind of change what you're doing. You can, if you get a configuration that you're using a lot, you can type save. And now when you reboot, it's going to have the baud rate set, your Wi-Fi set, those disks, mounted. It'll just remember what you did. In fact, if I
The ESP32, that's connected at what baud rate?
115.2.
115.2. Okay. Thanks.
When you're can you do a demo of setting up like TerraTerm to, or to go to the Wi-Fi to the ESP?
I can show that too. I probably can't do TerraTerm, but so this does have Wi-Fi, and it does have an FTP server built into it. So if you have an FTP client, which I think it works.
Like on TerraTerm, I go TCP/IP.
Oh yeah, you can telnet to it also. I'll probably do it from. Yeah, I don't know why
I haven't actually tried it yet.
Well, let me try it because I haven't done that in a long time either. Telnet. Do I have Telnet? Oh gosh, I don't even think I have Telnet. There, I got it on this one. 292.168.94. Where we at? 205. Yeah, so you can telnet to it also. You don't have to have it connected to a, well, yeah, it kind of works.
So you essentially need it connected the first time to configure it to use Wi-Fi, and then after that you'll be able to telnet and without worrying about cabling at that point.
Yeah, but like I said, I've been actually having quite a bit of Wi-Fi problems. In fact, I think it just crashed. Yeah, it just blew up. I don't know if I've run Telnet and FTP at the same time. That was really odd.
Hmm.
Now, when you get to that screen, you can
Yeah, I need
copy
to.
and paste from your PC onto the Wi-Fi connection.
Copy and paste.
Yeah,
I need to.
like
I need to look at the Telnet.
upload a DSK file, a different DSK file.
Yeah, over FTP you can when it works.
Yeah, he's having a problem with the FTP right now.
I've just been having weird Wi-Fi problems. Maybe my ESP32 is bad. Like I'll ping it and it just like quits responding.
Oh,
That kind of stuff.
It's not like a dupe IP address or something like that, right? It's
I don't
everything
think
static.
so.
That's why I've had weird stuff over the past, but yeah.
Yeah, so like here's the FTP client on Mac, Walt. So these are the files that are on your ESP32, and these are the files on your host.
Okay, so that's the best way to do it with an FTP client.
Yeah. If I just want to move Lifeboat over, I'll overwrite it.
And you don't need a password or anything like that.
It does. I think the password is FDC. I think the username is FDC and the password is FDC. Yeah, I have all kinds of Wi-Fi. I wonder if it's because I'm in my basement. Yeah, it just times out.
Could be all the plumbing in your house is.
Yeah, probably. But does anyone else use the Wi-Fi?
Go ahead, Walt. Sorry.
I have a Wi-Fi, but I haven't tried connecting with it. I didn't even think of using FTP, but
yeah, I mean that's what I get on my Wi-Fi, and I thought it had something to do with the
I gotta figure out. I
Yeah.
with
gotta.
the Altair.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that. I have to run different programs to find the IP address of my device. Um,
Yeah, I'd be curious if other people using the Wi-Fi, if like if you start a ping or something, if you get the same thing I get.
Yeah, the timeouts and stuff. I will try it. Up until recently, as you know, I've had other problems, and I finally found out what the issues were. It was actually the backplane, my first backplane I soldered up. There's just something wrong where that wouldn't wouldn't work with your cards. Remember, I
Yeah.
soldered up another one. Damn thing, darn thing. Sorry, we're being recorded. A darn thing. Everything just started. I had things in there, nothing's working. I can't get it. I put the new backplane in, plugged everything just worked. So at that point, I've been playing with stuff like this, trying to get other things working now. So I do have that the ESP32, and I'm going to start playing with it. I wanted to kind of get this presentation and see this, so this way I have a better understanding. I'm not fighting with again baud rates and things like that I was running into.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah, the biggies are that blue LED that should
Yeah.
at least let you know you got a good connection, and then typing stat
Yeah.
kind of gives you an idea what it's doing.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think I
yeah.
have Wi-Fi turned on mine. I got to do that.
Yeah, I need to I haven't spent a lot of time with the ESP32 as of late, but I really need to kind of figure out this Wi-Fi issue, because I don't know if it's just me or if it's
ESP needs a bigger antenna.
yeah, it could be.
So I mean, from that device, if you ping something else on your network, choose another. Do you have something else floating around?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so you're solid with going out to like the DNS there. Okay. Okay, so I was just trying to see if it was something inherent happening. So
Yeah, that's just kind of bizarre. Because I think, because you know because the ESP32 is kind of like a polling type device, I think. So I don't know if it just gets too busy processing stat commands or something where it just doesn't get around to. But it's supposed to have two cores on it.
yeah.
So, anyways, I got to look at it and kind of find. Like, what I'm really curious is if other people have the same issues or if it's just my luck.
Yeah, your
I-
phone
I-
is black again too, by the way.
Oh, that I set it down.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll see if I can get time over tonight or tomorrow or something, and now that I have a better understanding of what to try to do, and I'll see if I can let you know. But I can at least get it configured onto the Wi-Fi and do the basic pings like you're doing.
Yeah, I'm curious
So
to know what you see.
Yeah, on my system, all I've done is just connect because it's so close. I just unplugged the USB connector from the AC adapter into my PC, and I've been trading files around that way. But I should try with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'd like to get if they have it, an SSH server running on it, so you can just use SCP from a command line too.
yeah.
But also thought about a web interface. We can just kind of upload and download through a web browser. But got sidetracked another project.
Well, the way the ESP FDC works now, it's pretty damn handy. I mean, I have no reason to go back to the CF card in my IMSAI-JAIR computer anymore because I can do everything on the ESP32, and I have the hard, I get 3 8 MB drives to fill up with stuff.
Yeah.
And even on the Altair with just 2 8 MB drives, it's still, you don't need to be, doing a lot of other stuff to change things around. And
Yep.
I'm not doing it on my PC, which means more RAM for my other applications instead of getting eaten up by those FDC servers.
So that's all I had. It took
Oh,
us the whole-
that was exactly what I was looking for, man. I appreciate it. You
took
know,
up the
for you.
whole hour.
That's all right. That was good.
I have, well, Terry's gone. I was hoping Terry would get back, but I guess I can save that question for another Zoom when Terry's around. Actually, I got two questions that well, you might be able to answer one of them.